Welcome to the Story Circles, where these two nerds are gonna explain to me why things happen on screen in various movies we love and hate, and other things. Usually, some movies that somebody
The,
else has seen, and I have also recently seen. So, tonight's episode is about Princess Bride.
the Princess Bride. Again, quick version of the story circle. It's just a writing technique. Make sure that these 8 steps are in this order, and you'll find that most stories fit within these 8 steps. And you, as a viewer or as learning, can use this for stories, D&D, movies, blah, 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 and even storytelling in real life. So, on that, today we're going to check out the story circle.
Yeah,
I'm joined.
Yeah, it's exactly that way.
Sorry, today we're gonna be talking about the Princess Bride and does it circle? What do you think? Does it circle, guys?
I think that it has a very strong story circle, and it has several story circles. So the grandpa and the grandson, they have a full story circle.
Yeah.
Then you see like the princess and Vizzini and the giant and the Spaniard.
Inigo Montoya. How can you forget his name? I mean, he says it like every freaking 10 minutes.
Isn't he like like the Spanish-speaking world's national hero or something?
Please continue to speak.
But each of those four, in addition to the grandson and the grandfather, also the like I said, the Vizzini, the Spaniard, and the giant. Yes, but the Vizzini refers to them as my Spaniard and my giant.
Oh, of course he did.
So this is saying the Spaniard and the giant. They each have their own story circles. The princess has one. Even the prince has a story circle.
Love that name.
And the only one who doesn't is actually Wesley. Yes. / the man. He does not change in one little bit.
I noticed this too. I mean, technically he's dies.
A lot more confident. He's a lot more confident when he returns as the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Nope.
Sorry. Spoilers.
He has the exact same face the entire movie. He does not change.
It's a bit. Yes, continue.
So one of the two big parts of the story circle is there's the ordinary world, which is where you start. There's the extraordinary world, which is sort of the where does the adventure actually happen, and the characters are placed in an unfamiliar setting. And then there's the return. The last quarter of the story circle is a return to a new normal. Like, this is now the world that people live in.
Well, technically, he leaves as a farm boy, then he skips steps 4, 5, 6, and goes straight to 7, where he returns as Dread Pirate Roberts. We don't get to see the steps 4, 5, and 6, but he does tell us about it.
Yes, he tells us about them.
I don't think that actually tracks. I think the whole him leaving is part of the you, and that's part of the mystery part. I think it's because it happens in the first 15 minutes. The first 15 minutes, the story has to say, here are your here's your people that you need to care about, and here's the reasons why. And we're going to give Buttercup a sad story, and we're going to feel empathy because, hey, Wesley, the thing she loves, disappeared, and now she has to marry the prince, and now we feel sorry for her. That's still part of the character building and why we should like them. That's my theory on that, anyways.
That's part of the circle for the Buttercup. not for Wesley.
Correct, but I think Wesley. That's still
That's
part.
Wesley
Not that's
with a T.
yes, Wesley.
Yeah.
That is still
Also,
part of
you
his
might
you.
wanna try mirroring your camera because
We're gonna need to. Yes, this runic speak. We're still gonna working on that. I need to get a new camera. Next time we do this, it will be better. We'll have a new camera. There'll be software.
I still
will
think
be
that looks
reversed.
like a one of those charts with the planets in the different places, and you're telling people astrology. Yeah, it looks like an astrology chart.
I mean, I would argue that the story circle and astrology have a lot in common. But
No, I don't mean
that's
I
gonna
don't mean the
be-
main picture. I mean the one you keep holding up. It looks
yeah.
because it's so small.
Astrological chart. Also, but I mean, not to this. I mean, I disagree in that sense. I think that him becoming Dread Roberts was still his part of his ordinary world.
So can we pull up like the first part of the movie? Because in hindsight, I feel like the Princess Bride has so many different stories going on with it that it is, I feel like it's just a shitload of them. This was not a good number two.
This was an advance. How about we do this? Let's concentrate on the main portion of it, and then we'll circle back to individuals.
Yeah.
But
so let's just watch, if we could. Can we like pull up the grandson and the kid? Or the grandfather and kid. The grandfather and the
we're going to attempt Wooster to opening up a screen share and loading up the video portion so that we can
I
see.
can easily enough share the video. The point is, you guys can't hear it, so it's only the audience and me that are gonna be able to watch it. So
okay.
Well, actually, tell me the exact time, and I'll just hit the play on mine, and I can see it and hear it at the same time.
Well,
we may not have that. We may have not. Our plan was to take screenshots, and as always, we're throwing in an improvised loop. Like, hey, can we do more? Let's test it out live.
we can do more, and thank you for making me do this on live.
It's so much fun. I love it.
Now, to avoid pulling up the porn version and going for the.
By the way, as I
PG
said, I can
version?
pull it up on mine as well, and that won't screw up your OBS.
Sorry. You needed my help on this. I don't know why we're looking at that.
So I got that pause, so that means I need to figure out what was the timestamp I need to go to. So somebody give me a timestamp.
okay. 39 minutes 56
39
seconds.
minutes 56 seconds. Okay. Actually, I have no idea if I can.
39 is a
that
lot.
That's them hugging.
39. Woohoo. 39 minutes 56 seconds.
Can you move at all?
Oh.
That's them hugging
Yeah.
on the ground. Okay.
So
Oh yeah, it's a bit after that.
I argue that
All it can do is
basically
delay it for a while.
Wesley does not change. He has the
I'll
same
never doubt again.
face basically right here as he does at the very start of the movie.
So we
If you compare
Go
that to
back.
like
this Wesley over in the beginning.
Yeah.
Very nicely.
Which was all he ever said to me.
There we go. That's the Wesley we're talking about.
yep.
Look at that smirk.
But the point
So-
isn't how much he changes, but he does change. He has changed a bit.
He's more capable, but
Mhm.
the thing is that it's still him. He is monolithic. He is a force of nature because nothing can stop true love. He says that. He lays it right out in there. Nothing can stop true love. And so from here, he is unstoppable. And at the end, he is unstoppable. He is not a character. He is the setting. He is the extraordinary world.
Yeah.
And
is he the living MacGuffin as well? No,
he's not the living MacGuffin, but he is the embodiment of the extraordinary world, that bottom part of the story circle where the adventure happens.
He's Paddington Bear.
Yeah, kind of.
What?
Where the need in this movie happens for the whole movie itself is when Wesley, as the Dread Pirate Roberts, when this force comes into contact on the river with the three people who are kidnapping Buttercup.
Bandits.
That is where the extraordinary world happens. Everything else is just sort of like, generic medieval fantasy or medieval thing. There's no magic or anything. It's just normal.
I wonder if it's just in the same way.
Yeah.
She's getting kidnapped is politics. Everything is sort of making sense until inconceivable. That is the go of this
interesting
movie.
That's a good take on that.
And so here it goes to each of the three bandits interacting with Wesley, and that advances each of those bandits' story circles separately. And it also goes to each of the bandits' needs.
Just pause there for a second. I love this entire time. We as an audience, I remember watching this the first time, like, okay, who's this guy in black? It's very nicely, mysteriously brought up, and we don't get to see his face until the next few shots coming up, and then we have confirmation in our brains that, okay, yes, that's who we thought it was Wesley. Anyways, please continue.
Yeah.
Or some idiots like me didn't even do that.
Didn't even realize it was Wesley.
Yeah.
The Vizzini on the boat calls out each of the needs for the different characters, or the bandits. He calls out their histories. He's giving the audience the first two parts of each of those individual characters.
Yeah.
Backstories. Each of the first quarter of each of those characters' story circles.
There it is.
That's the drunkard, and Fezzik was in Greenland.
Unemployed in Greenland.
Unemployed idiot. Yes.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
See, I actually take that as a you. I take that whole interaction when they first are introduced to them as a you, and during the boat, he makes it a very good point to like demean them. And like, you guys are idiots. When I met you, you were a drunkard up to nothing, and you were unemployed in Greenland as a giant. At that moment, those characters turned from, oh, they're here to kidnap Buttercup, and we as an audience, we love Buttercup, so these guys are the bad guys. But that right when he starts like, you guys are idiots, then I'm like, oh no, now I kind of feel sympathy for them, and they start rhyming right afterward. Fuck it, I like them now. Well, so that makes them the you to me.
That gives their use, and to some extent with Andre the Giant, it gives a little bit of the need. But what happens is when they get to interact with Wesley, that's when each of those characters goes on their own unfamiliar world, or that's when they find themselves lacking.
They get tested.
Yeah. And then they come back for the end part as their return. Each of those characters starts their own return, having lost to Wesley. They
interesting.
Well,
good take.
Technically, Vizzini doesn't have a return. He just died.
That is fairly true. Yes, his part is very short.
So is he.
So you know what? I agree with you that Wesley, he's the driving force. When we mentioned Paddington Bear doesn't change at all. But every time he interacts with the characters around him change because of his interactions. So Paddington Bear goes and is just the same old bear from beginning to end, but everybody around him changes. The same thing happens here. You're right. I couldn't quite put my finger on Wesley or how he worked correctly, but you're right. He is the agent of change. He doesn't need to change. Everybody around him changes because of him. Now, I still say that when they're dueling, by the way, that cliff scene, there's this moment where here's him debating. It's like, hey, when I found you, blah, blah, blah. I'm feeling sympathy for these characters. This is still within the first 15, 20, 30 minutes of the movie. So
Yeah,
it's in the you portion.
This is exactly 10 minutes.
Yeah. I think once they get to the top part and Wesley's he's hanging by the rope and he's like, I'm getting impatient. How about I throw you a rope? And he's like, yeah, but I don't trust your ass because you're just going to fucking drop me. And he's like,
I swear on the life of my father.
no.
Yes.
First he says, "I could give you my word as a Spaniard."
Right here.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Known too many Spaniards.
And look I love this dramatic slow zoom on his face right there.
Throw me
Throw me the rope. Perfect. Pause right there. Immediately. I mean, from that point forward, that's such a great, well-delivered line. The pacing up until that point, that the story emphasized this. And then he goes and tells his story. That is him literally telling to the audience, this is my need. This fucking guy with 6 fingers killed my father, and I'm going to fucking kill him. That's me telling you, Wesley, what my need
I like
is.
he had a rock of the size of his fist. You don't happen to have 6 fingers on your right hand.
This is nothing but need exposition. I think that's my opinion, anyways.
Yeah, and
it also acts as me liking the character more as a you.
But Wesley is the one that kind of causes this to happen.
Yes, he's the agent of force.
Yeah.
He is making this happen. The story is he's the R2D2 and C3PO. Like, they're just the characters that are there that cause shit to happen, and we kind of like them, and we're following them and all the shenanigans around them. And you're right, he is the pure agent of force that causes these characters, Buttercup, Inigo Montoya, Andre the Giant. It's just basically those 3, isn't it? Oh, and then of course we got Grandpa, and Wonder Years.
Fred Savage, I believe he's credited as the child or the grandson.
The child, Fred Savage, but who's just adorable in this movie, isn't he? Absolutely adorable.
More adorkable than adorable. But...
Yes.
Oh, is he kissing?
Oh, and such amazing setups. Normally we do a whole bunch of setups in the searching montage portion of the movie, but this has amazing setups right from the get-go. The As You Wish, kissing. What else? Good setups from my name is Inigo Montoya. Brilliant setups right here. Anyways,
I will go up to him and say, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die."
Right.
But I have not found him in 20 years.
And next, we go with the giant, and we're introduced to him. What is exactly his need?
I think.
Pause. We are introduced to the prince right at that scene, and he is both good at something. He's a great tracker, and he's following and he's expositioning to the audience like, here's what they did. They had a fight. The bad guy, the loser, went off in that direction. We, as the audience, recognize as Inigo Montoya. The winner went off after these footsteps. The princess, she's still alive. She better be alive by the time I find her. That's his whole schmidt, right? But later on, we find out like, yeah, I just want her to look alive because I want the audience, the subjects, to love her because I just want to kill her and start a fucking war. So that's his need, and that's when we find out here too.
That is his want.
Yeah, want/need. Yeah.
Can I just say that the sword fight, I'm not left-handed either, is just one of my favorite sword fights of all time on movies.
It works really well, and it's tense. It's well done, beautifully good back and forth. I mean, I can't help but fall in love with the two characters that are fighting.
That scene in and of itself tells a full story circle too.
Really?
Yes. So it starts out, that they obviously that need is for them to find out who is stronger. He gives Inigo Montoya gives his whole story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have the need is for them to defeat each other, and they go back and forth. That's kind of the searching, the finding,
the unfamiliar territory. Yes. Testing each other out.
They test each other out. They're searching for advantages. They find them. Finally, Inigo Montoya uses his right hand, and he's still losing. He gets tested. That's kind of the pay. Ultimately, he loses. He is at his lowest pay.
I've fought all my whole life to go and get my revenge, and now I'm going to die because I lost this fight. He thinks he's going to die, at least.
Yeah. I must know who you are. Please prepare to be disappointed.
The one-liners in this movie.
Yeah. So
there he is.
But because you watch, yeah.
And now he's changed.
Timber.
So here, he's in the larger story circle. He's fought Wesley and he's lost. The story doesn't always complete happily, but this was just the fight itself was a full circle.
The fight itself was a full circle, yes.
Within the much larger circles and circles and circles. But yeah, okay. So main storyline.
If things follow the circle, or at least as close as possible, it's entertaining and it lasts and it's memorable because of that. This is what we're saying. Like the circle is magic. Anyways, please continue.
Vicini tests against Wesley, the Man in Black.
Here, yes.
You skipped over Fezzik.
Oh well, we did. What was his name? We never. Oh, he wanted a fair fight.
Yeah.
He's like, he throws a rock at him. He's like, "Yo,
I could have killed you, but
no." His need is to have a job.
Yeah, you're right.
At the beginning, Vicini calls it out to him. You were unemployed in Greenland, and then his need is okay. I have to have a job. So Vicini hires him. He encounters the Man in Black, is tested, loses. But then shortly after it, you find out that Fezzik's now on the Brute Squad.
Yeah, you're right.
He is the Brute Squad.
Yeah.
Well, no, he literally says, I'll call the Brute Squad. I'm on the Brute Squad. I have a job. It's on the Brute Squad.
Which was a great bring back. I did not expect that. I mean, I love how they brought him back exactly like that. He's like drunk and like, as an audience, like, oh, here he is. Freaking Inigo is drunk again, just like he was described in the beginning. And he's about to fence some like, all the Brute Squad. It's Sandra again. Hey, I remember you. Hey, I know this guy. Brilliant writing. Anyways, I think the next portion that we're going to talk about. So we're introducing all the needs, everybody's needs, right? By the way, I think his real pay the heaviest price, obviously, because he finds the guy that he's looking for, and then he runs away. Anyway, we'll get to that. The fight scene against the Brainiac. What was his name? I never can remember. Vizzini.
Or the Sicilian.
At this point, we really hate him. The audience hates him. I mean, he's mean to the characters. He's arrogant. He thinks he's the smartest guy around. Even here at the scene where he even does the switcheroo portion and his laugh at the very end, he has the most annoying laugh.
Never get involved in a land war in Asia. But only second to that is never fight a Sicilian when death is on the line, or something like that.
We hate him as I mean, the story, they did a great job of us hating him. So when he dies off, we're like, yes, he absolutely fucking deserved that. Thank you very much. Because now we've got, otherwise, there's this rule, and if the protagonist has to follow all the good guy protagonist rules, especially in this type of a story. That's PG-13. Can't do any. You can't kill the bad guy. Just can't. But here it's allowed because we hate him as an audience member, and he actually killed himself by drinking the poison and trying to outwit him. And I think at this point that also tells us the need of now Buttercup, because Buttercup, her need is like, hey, I need to not marry the prince and get back together with my lost long love. And that builds the tension of this very next scene where he liberates the Buttercup, and they're like, go forward. And she's talking all this smack to him, like, I'm not in love with the prince. How dare you accuse me of that? I really loved my long lost Westerly that you fucking asshole killed. Like, I did do that. I can't leave any people behind. And it's at that point where she pushes, the prince shows up on the backside and she pushes him, and he starts rolling, and he says,
"As you wish."
Fucking brilliant, right? I mean, at that point, we know, yes, it is him. And we know as an audience that, yes, she knows now too and realizes this. And what does she do afterward? She goes after him. She throws herself. That's her going, literally doing the go move and introducing the next portion of the story, which is what we're like at 30, 45 minutes into the story. Let's see where it starts. Yeah, beautiful. Such great acting there. We see what's happening. Amazing. Fantastically edited. Cut to her reaction. Oh no, what did I do? Whoops.
Whoops. Well, not really whoops, more like, hi, I'm going to break my neck throwing myself down a hill.
What are we at a timestamp here?
I do believe this is 39 minutes and 5 seconds.
Okay, so we're at about a third of the way through. First 15 minutes is the need. For 15 to 20 minutes is the need. I'm sorry, the you, then the need, and now the go starts. We're going to go into the unfamiliar situation, which is the fire bog.
Fire swamp.
Fire swamp, yes. And it's completely different than what we've seen up until this point. There's been no weird magic-y stuff. I mean, sure, it's believable that there's a giant and he's stupid strong, but weird rats and fucking fire bogs.
ROUSs and lightning sand.
And we get fantastic exposition here of a good setup of the Dread Pirates. And look at the lighting. This set is just amazingly well done. Fucking fantastic set for what, 1989? 1985, right
87.
around there? 87?
87, yeah.
Look at the lighting. Smoky, three-dimensional. And these two just look so beautiful on the screen. Look at that. Anyways, so I think this is the go portion of it. Unfamiliar territory, and that sets off the search for them to get back together. Once they're separated at the end of this, the prince comes like, hey man, thanks for taking my girlfriend through the bog. but we're gonna like get married. And he's like, no, fuck no. And she's like, wait, I'll marry you. I'll go with you if you let him live. Cool? Cool. And that's when, of course, we're introduced to the six-figured man. Like, dude, fucking kill his ass anyways, right? And slow zooming out to the six-fingered man.
Yeah.
Beautifully well done.
Count Rogan. Or Rugen.
Count Rugen. I like this guy too, but
It's a very short story circle.
I love this line here.
Yeah.
And there's the six
I
fingers.
noticed you have 6 fingers.
Yeah, can you pause on his face here when it comes back to Wesley's face? That is. He's got that same smirk.
That fucking smirk.
Because Wesley is true love. Wesley is not human. He is a revenant returned from the dead. And nothing can stop him. He is true love. And the story called it out earlier. Nothing can stop true love. What is it? I can give you the.
It's in the scene when
4950 is when is the timestamp I have it. Death cannot stop true love. But like, he's just a force of nature. He has the same smirk now that he'll have when he wakes up. He has the same smirk now that he will have when he's dead later on.
Fantastic. Let's talk about the next portions of it then, because we're about to get into that. We're the whole torture scene now. We're now introduced for the first time the real Count. What is it, Count Bonogu or
Rugen?
Rugen, six-figured man. He really likes to torture. I mean, he's like, hey man, come on down to the secret hole. By the way, let me introduce you to the secret hole in this tree that takes us to the secret dungeon room. That's also a nice way to sneak into the castle. It'll come back up later on, right? That's a good setup. But
it doesn't sneak into the castle. By the way.
It doesn't? Oh no, you're right. I am mistaking things. But he's like, hey Prince, come on down. Watch me torture some dudes. I know how you like watching. He's like, yeah, I love watching you torture people, but like I got
a country to run.
You know, I'm about to get married. I'll catch you next time. We'll torture her next time, all right? I can hate him immediately. And the machine that sucks your life force. This was a good little dream bit.
Boo, you're the queen of putrescence.
Again, pointing out red. He's from this point forward, the prince is wearing red the entire time.
Red to denote danger or
bad guy or tension, etc., etc. Yeah, I mean, ultimately. He looks so giddy about it.
I've got my country's 500th anniversary to plan, my wedding to arrange, my wife to murder, and guilt to frame for it.
Amazing. I don't got time. Like
these guys are definitely best friends.
My screenshot is coming up right here.
Oh yeah, look at that.
You haven't got your health. You haven't got anything. That's exactly my screenshot.
Wow.
It's like one of those infinity mirrors. Like it's just we just keep seeing the reflection.
Amazing. And then again, so we're the search portion. All right, let's see what happens. The trial. It's the trial. The road of trials. Wes is getting tortured, and this is where we find out he's like, dude, you can't fucking kill me. Love's the real deal here.
Yeah.
We're introduced. We're seeing his next thing, like, hey, let's go go clear out the forest so we could see what happens to Inigo Montoya and Andre the Giant getting back together.
Yeah.
Most of the good bits on the story happen here during the search. We're also introduced to Billy Crystal and his wife.
Miracle Max.
Wonderful, wonderful scene.
But before we do,
They're
do
doing
have
is
this guy.
playing true love.
Yeah, all they're doing is laying. Yeah, and he says it right there. You're right. Like, fuck, man, you can't kill me. True love will win.
Keep your core there.
And it's very common in the road of trials, by the way, I mean, it's okay to beat up your character there. You can have good moments, bad moments, show them at their low points because they have to rise again. But it's still, here's what's very interesting. I think the low point of this film lasts exactly 1 minute. And it's when he gets stabbed in the stomach and the Princess Buttercup is about to commit suicide. And then a few seconds later, Wes is like, why would you commit suicide? And that's the end
Why
of the...
ruin one of the perfect breasts?
I mean, the pay the heavy price for it is exactly this long, in my opinion. Although, I guess it starts earlier in because it's when Inigo Montoya is like, hey, I got you. Finally, I'm going to fucking kill you. He's like, yeah, I'm out. And then he runs away the opposite way. That, to me, is the start of the pay the heavy price. But I really, really feel it when he gets stabbed in the stomach. The whole money starts. Still setting up the big stakes. What about brilliant? Oh, there we go. This is literally them getting what they want. They got into the castle. He's going to go rescue the girl. Wesley is brought back to life. This is all the getting what you want portion of the story.
Those 4 stabs were just so well choreographed.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially the one when he stabs him from behind.
Amazing.
He gets to say his lines and
action scene. Everything the audience has been waiting for. Come on, do it.
Hey, look at his hair. It looked for a second there. It looked very Centauri-like.
Oh, great.
And then when they look here at each other, Wesley still has that smirk.
Even though he was mostly dead.
Yes.
His body doesn't even work, but he still has the smirk.
Amazing.
The smirk works. Yeah.
So soon afterward, it's this scene right here. And she says, goodbye. I'm going to run away. This entire portion of this is paying the heavy price. Getting, she's like, I'm fine. I got married. Now I'm going to go, bye-bye, Grandpa. You've been really nice to me. And even here, fuck, we lost Wesley. What happened to him? I'm sure the music had to look at that. That's Hitchcock. Yeah. Zoom into the knife, visual cinema, show the audience the next danger, raising the stakes, pay the heavy price. Oh, fuck you.
Sorry, Father.
It hurts. It hurt. The music gets somber here.
Yeah, I intentionally removed all sounds from the video. So.
Perfect call, because all we need is this, and plus it'll be better for everything. Yeah. And it'll let our talking to go over it. Yeah. This whole bit, bad guy gonna be bad guy exposition. Perfect. I hate him so much right here. And I feel so bad for this guy. Amazing. And very next scene. Here we go. Fuck it, I'm gonna commit suicide. Here I go. This whole pay the heavy price portion lasted exactly this long.
The shortage of perfect breasts in this world. Would be a pity to damage goals. And
just like that, my specific rule is when you're doing the pay the heavy price, it has to be nothing but nosedive the entire time. It's diving. The emotion has to be going down, down, down. We have to feel sorry for the characters. We have to want to cry. We have to make the audience like really feel the pay. There has to be no upswings of emotion. So as soon as you land the joke, that to me is the start of the return portion of the story, where the heroes come up with like, "Hey, now I'm doing. Look at this."
Did you know? By the way, do you notice the symmetry? Eventually,
Yes.
he gives him the exact same wounds, both
Beautiful.
shoulders and the cheeks.
Beautiful,
Mhm.
beautiful. This really hits really well. I mean, it went from like the worst to the worst to now he, in a sense, is an unstoppable force. He's using the lessons learned from
From Wesley.
yes.
He is now a revenant. He has died and come back, just like Wesley did. And just like Wesley will do later on at the end of the movie, he will make Inigo the new Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yes. Giving him his change. Amazing. And I love his ferocity here. Like he like says it in his voice. I am Inigo Montoya. I mean, it hits me. It really hit me really hard. I haven't seen this movie in like 20 plus years, and I'd forgotten how fucking good this movie is. Make him beg.
I want my father back, you son of a bitch.
Amazing.
Funny story related. When I watched this earlier today, I showed this to my mother, who has never actually seen Princess Bride before.
Oh, really?
Huh?
What was her?
And
Tell me
what
about
was her
this. Tell us
reaction?
reactions. Yeah.
How was that sound and where did it come? Oh, I got my WhatsApp on.
Bleep boop bleep.
Anyway, my apologies for that. And yeah, he enjoyed the movie, but I did not question her more because it was time for me to start doing this.
This is
Well,
a fresh experience. This
bring
is a
her
fresh
on
watch for you,
to
then.
bring her onto the scene, and she can tell us what she thought.
She's not
Oh,
the type to enjoy herself
can't
in
do
front
that.
of the camera.
Lesson learned. That's why I used to not do that.
Tell her it's
Because,
radio.
Amazing. So you just finished watching this movie, what, a few hours ago then?
Yeah.
I watched this Friday night. You watched this last night. So we had different time
Watched
zones.
this yesterday as well.
Yeah. My earliest opportunity to watch this was today because I was on a work trip.
I want to say there's moments where the look at the feel of the movie is very loosey-goosey, happy, really PG-13, PG, rated PG, meant for kids, just like Fred Savage. But then there's moments where like he's talking about revenge and the camera slowly zooms in on him. He grounds the story. I think in Inigo Montoya, he really like every time he's talking about his revenge, the camera like the music changes. It's a slow zoom in on him. He sounds like the pure raw, like you believe that. Oh, I'm out for fucking revenge every single time. Good portion. Oh, and the return again with the bluff at the end. Oh, this is part of the yeah.
But soon you will not be here.
This whole thing where they catch him on fire, that effect is amazing. But in my brain, I'm thinking, dude, you're on fucking fire. I don't care. You're out there, that giant. You're on fire, bro. That's gotta hurt.
You guards, you're all fired. All your worst nightmares are about to come true.
The only
Sorry,
sportsman in this picture is the gatekeeper.
Yeah, and again, we've already set up earlier on that hey, Dread Pirate Roberts, it's nothing but a name, and it's it's
A reputation.
the reputation.
Yeah.
And hey, man, I'm restating here. Hey, leave nobody alive. You better fucking run. And they all run. Amazing. It's such a good bit too here. Here, he's just like knocking. He's like, here, let me open that for you. Clock. Done and done. Amazing. The so the return portion, Wesley stands up. He's like, "Hey, I have the sword. Inigo Montoya has his revenge." They have a great fight scene that's just super memorable.
To the pain. Yes.
This is great too. And look at again. Watch this. They
Hmm.
do the slow zoom in for dramatic effect as well. I think.
You warthog faced buffoon.
I hate him so much. Even here, he's like, nobody has ever disrespected me like that. And he still has that kind of smirk, doesn't he?
Yep.
Never goes away.
That forward action.
I wasn't finished. In my ears. Now let's get
Oh.
on with it. No. Wrong. No ears. Yes. Oh,
I love how he says wrong, like catches your motion
Yes.
immediately. Slow zoom in, dramatic.
dear God.
That's good
what is
cinema.
that thing?
Brilliant, brilliant.
Even without
Such-
sound, I can hear this. I think you're bluffing. It's possible, pig.
He's changing his mind real quick. It's conceivable.
Yes, as opposed to the inconceivable earlier.
Brilliant, brilliant editing. Look at this shot. Triumphant. Aim it at the screen. Oh, there it is, right there.
Drop
Boom.
your sword.
Brilliant.
You rat, you paused it. There you go.
And as usual, we've done all the tricks that we need to make this as dramatic as possible. Yeah, sure. I fucking give up. Yeah, just like that. That's a great return. Doesn't need anything more than that. The entire story. I mean, there are so many great moments of tension. The bit with the boat in the beginning when she jumps off, and all the little
The eels.
the
shrieking
eels.
eels.
and even down to like we see it coming up to the camera, and Grandpa cuts is like, cut. No, you know what happens is
She doesn't die to the eels now. No.
It's brilliant because you're at that moment of suspense, and that's the grandpa is there just delaying it beautifully to the point like, yeah, we are the kid. We are Fred Savage in that story. We're like, Grandpa, fucking finish the story. What happens after the eel comes out of the water? You know, and it's
No,
perfect.
he doesn't even care then. He's like, you know, he's still playing coy. Like
Yeah.
he cares a little bit, but he's not gonna let anyone know that he's whatever, Grandpa. I mean, you can keep going if you want.
Yes.
I mean, and then at the end, he's like, the kissing part isn't so bad.
Brilliant.
You know,
Yeah.
so it goes, that's one of the ways that they show the kid
There.
changes.
Yeah.
Look
He
how
couldn't
long
get
he's
eaten by
delaying
eels at
this.
time. What? Eel
Look
doesn't
how
get
long
her.
is yeah.
You look nervous.
But of course, with that effect of we the audience knows that you're just playing, but it works brilliant. There's that dramatic scene, building tension, building even the Billy Crystal where they're resurrecting him. Even that's a good tension building. There's so much tension building scenes in here that we don't need like to pay the heavy price on that return to be so tension. It's just such a good ending. And then I love Andre the Giant comes back is like, hey, I found all these 4 horses. Like, that's GTFO.
Yeah, that's like 1 hour 31:58 by my timestamp.
No, the scene after where he's like, yeah, I give up. They tie him up.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Yep.
My timestamp is 1:31:58 on for that. If Wooster wants to put that up, either way, or
Yeah.
on his
Well,
for the galloping away.
we're
But
about
see right here, the two
Oh yeah.
the kids need.
When he offers him the job of, have you considered piracy?
Yes, perfect, brilliant. Oh, this shot here, by the way, beautiful. Look at this. I know it's done in a soundstage, but it's still such a beautiful shot.
Unfortunately,
She
Andre
jumps
the
all
Gi-
graceful, and they all just like
Yeah.
tumble forward.
yeah. Well, also Andre the Giant was actually injured at that point, so he actually couldn't catch her.
Really? Oh, I did not know that.
You considered piracy?
We're watching this on a slight delay. I just realized because they're whatevs. It's normal.
Maybe.
But yeah, that's the end of their story.
Having changed, where are they at again? They're back to where they started, back together in love, having the perfect kiss. And we as an audience are right when we started again. This is where we started.
Yeah.
Oh, the kissing part, you don't want to watch all that, right? But as good characters, he's changed now. He's like, I like the kissing part now. And one more thing, I don't mind it so much that you squeeze my cheek. You want to come back tomorrow? As you wish. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
There have been 5 kisses. You paused it again. Okay, now you're just going back to the kiss over and over again.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the right spot.
It doesn't
This-
matter.
So I'm trying to skip the spoilers. Just kidding.
This movie is I was gonna say
We are not showing you the movie. If you want to watch it, you can buy yourself a streaming service and watch it, or you come one of our screenings at undisclosed location and at an undisclosed time.
Oh, so good. So good. This scene right here, as you wish.
I don't think Grandpa pinches his cheek as he leaves.
No.
Grandpa's changed as well.
Oh yeah.
Grandpa has changed. The kid now enjoys his grandpa. That ended up being the kid's need was to connect with the grandpa. The grandpa's need was kind of to
be grandpa.
To be grandpa and to connect with the kid. And the way he ends up, one of the ways that it shows that grandpa changed is he doesn't pinch the cheek.
And you get a recap of the movie with the cast list.
The cast list, yes. I quite enjoy that too.
That used to happen in movies a lot more often. Now it's almost never.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Pause. This right here was Buttercup's go back where you were. The 2 kiss.
Kiss into the sunset.
Yeah. That was, I think.
It's not that easy to go back on this thing.
Okay.
Right. Perfect.
There. Yeah. Sorry, when I said pause, I think
and also
it was a little bit delayed. But
and also we're delayed. Yes, we're delayed by like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes. We're idiots.
Yeah, that's nothing new to our audience. So
yeah,
continue.
This is part of her character. This is what she wanted in the beginning, and then she got it. I say much earlier, but yeah, this is how the movie starts and how it ends. This is a shot from the very beginning of the movie, and it ended with them kissing silhouetted again.
I think it's fine that them kissing is them in love at the very beginning is her ordinary world. And her need is to return to her ordinary world. She finds it when she decides to get on the go. No, I guess that's not to find her. I don't know. It's weird. I take it back. I'll have to think about it some more, but I do like that scene. You know what I was just saying? I was off the cuff, improvise. I'd have to think about it some more. But this brings us to an interesting point.
Yet now there'd be a stinger for the extended Princess Bride universe. Nick Fury coming into Mandy Patinkin as Inigo Montoya. Have you ever heard about the Dread Pirate Roberts initiative?
I like when he smells the unsmellable. Ah, yes, iocane powder.
That's exactly what this. It doesn't
he
matter.
knows it's iocane because it has no smell.
Ah,
Ridiculous, ridiculous.
And the fact that there's nothing left in there anyway because he poured it into the wine cups.
I could hit you in the head next time if you want. Andre the Giant is fantastic in this. Man, that dude is huge. Ridiculously huge. So we're thinking for next week, we should probably, what we're going to do is we should probably decide on.
You can tell by that shot, they really thought she was going to be the next big thing.
Robin Wright?
Yeah.
She does. Wait, what else does she come out with? Does she ever come
House
out
of
with anything
Cards?
else? Is that right?
I mean, that's 30 years later, but I mean, also, did you listen to the song that was at the end of this?
No, I did not.
It is kind of incredible. I'm like, wow, this is very much an mid 80s romantic power ballad. They thought they were releasing they were hoping for was it a Kokomo or something from like Dirty Dancing style hit.
She was in a few shows, but she wasn't in anything for long.
What? Yeah. Okay.
Until the House of Cards, where she remained the entire production.
Yeah, until House of Cards, but that was in 2013, so 6 years later. She's
But
also the
no joke, I
narrator
mean,
for First Ladies.
She's beautiful in this movie. I mean, I could see like, yeah, let's make her. It would have introducing Robin Wright, which is usually like, hey, we found this cool chick. We're gonna try to make her the next big thing. First of her films, boom, boom, boom.
No,
Oh,
she was Antiope in Wonder Woman.
man, I swallowed a little something. It's bugging me. All right. Anyways, that concludes this story circle. Thoughts? And then we'll start talking about next movies coming up.
I consider this a classic, and it just because the story is so endearing and enduring. Yeah, that makes sense. But that's just me. Then again, I also think Stardust is a classic. So
I still haven't seen Stardust yet.
Stardust is a classic.
Putting that on the list.
We're gonna have a vote on what we're gonna have on the show after next one. Next show, we're gonna be deciding on our own, and we're gonna put on a vote so you can put in your proposals what we are gonna do after the next show, which is actually going to be
About a month or so.
4 weeks from now.
on the 19th, because of various things of people missing in action.
Travelocity is happening.
So there's actually going to be 3 weekends without Story Circle. Woohoo. Unless we bought it in advance at some point, but no promises there. It's hard enough to get these people around the same table as it is.
Yeah, so we're gonna do, I think, just the 4 of us figure out something to give us a little bit more time to prepare, and then the poll will be for the one that happens after that.
Yeah, so
right?
this way, exactly. So this way we'll say, hey, what we're doing next is this. And because of the poll, next time when you join us, we will be discussing this. So we'll offset by voting by 1 week. I think
By
that'll
one
work.
show.
That's
One
it.
show. Yeah, we're just gonna give ourselves a 1 show buffer.
There we go. That works better. Because, as usual.
With a buffer, will be nice and shiny.
Exactly. But if you 2 people in the chat have a suggestion what we should do, feel free to add that in, and we will consider it for next show.
Absolutely. Anything you want to find out about?
So we've done Princess Bride and the first of the Star Wars movies, the
original Star Wars. Yeah.
The original Star Wars.
The one and only Star Wars movie. What
The
are we
one and
gonna do
only.
next? What do you guys think?
Should we decide now at the
We've
moment?
done two fantasy movies.
Well,
Oh,
all movies are fantasy, pretty much.
I was still thinking. I mean, at some point, I still want to talk about. Or I still want to do the. Shoot, what's the next one? Lamb. Silence of the Lambs.
Sounds
Silence of the
like
Lambs.
Ooh, Silence of the I'm not looking forward to that.
It's a little bit more.
I had an old friend for dinner.
You know,
Sorry,
we
I'm
should.
having an
so
old
that-
friend over for dinner.
that is another one where the extraordinary world is
Spoilers.
is a human person. All right, anyways.
Yeah, that's true. I could suppose that. Well, I think he's the living MacGuffin. He's the need / protagonist. Well,
I think we're saying the same thing with different terms, and so
Probably.
we won't argue about terms.
have you seen that movie already?
I have not.
There we go. Done and done. Also,
I've
So
seen
Silence
Let's
of the Lambs.
20-something years ago, whenever it came out.
20-something years ago. Let's do that. Let's
When
do
did it
Silence
come
of the
out?
Lambs.
When did it come out?
So
19
Silence of the Lambs, as in the Baba, or the things that shine in the roof.
Yeah, there aren't a
Yes.
lot of lambs involved in the movie.
So it's a very
1991.
dark movie. Okay.
1981.
Oh. 91.
91. Okay, I was going to say. And also winner of several Academy Awards. Several. And for good reason.
Do you know what you call your grandmother's sheep? Babushka.
Your Russian grandmother's sheep.
Yeah. Oh shit! Did I not specify Russian grandmother's?
no,
sheep?
you
What does your
didn't.
Russian grandmother call a sheep? What, Neari?
Babushka.
There we go.
Yeah.
They've actually started a TV show called Clarice,
Yes.
based on the character from Silence of the Lambs.
And actually,
And there's a bunch of sequels too. But
And there's actually before this movie, like in the book series, this is maybe like book 2 or 3. Before this was the Red Dragon, which there was later a release called Red Dragon, which is technically the prequel to this. But even better to that is another movie called Manhunter, released in the early 80s. That is the book Red Dragon converted into a movie called what did I say? Manhunter, and it's directed by this really kick-ass director that I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyways,
Fox.
I want to go back to talking about what we just watched for one reason. I think this is a great example of showing how to create likable characters. I think there's lessons to be learned since we had to introduce all these people. How do we make them likable? Number one, we show them being really good at something. Wesley with his fencing and the same with Inigo and Toya. Both of those, they're good. I mean, Wesley is pretty much good at a lot of things, but this highlights early on how he's good at something. We show the ridiculously awesome strength and awesomeness of Andre the Giant. Buttercup, we like her. What main things that we would show as Buttercup being good at something?
Well, even according to Wesley, she has good breasts.
That too, yeah. I think
I think as a character, you can identify her as more than just that. She ultimately, what she does is love Wesley. That is her default action.
her loyalty is a great
Yeah.
pro quality.
And that is basically the Undertale version of this movie. Is her thing is just love Wesley, and she applies it to every action she takes. Whether it's opposing Humperdinck. Why does she oppose it? Well, how does she? By loving Wesley. How does she approach that
Red Pirate.
any situation is, well, I love Wesley.
Even down to like, fucking Wesley didn't come for me after all. I thought he would. Here I am. I got married, and I guess
My one action that was just to love Wesley didn't work. I should have done something else.
yeah, that against him. So talking about likable characters. So because we have to introduce 5 likable characters immediately, we show them being good at something. We show empathy. We put them in a dangerous situation. We dump Princess Buttercup into the ocean, into the lake, lake, maybe, I don't know. While the
eels.
the eels are going after. So like anytime you put a character in danger, you're automatically rooting for them to succeed, and you empathize with them. Also, the fact that Wesley died, and the prince is like, "Hey, I pick you, Buttercup. You will be my new bride." And she's like, "But now I'm sad and it hurts." We also empathize with her that way. What I said earlier was that Vizzini. I can't pronounce his name to save my life.
Call him the Sicilian.
The Sicilian. Yes. That he anyways, he's talking smack about the other two. So immediately we're empathizing with them. Make them immediately likable or pretty, Carrie Ools and Robin Wright are beautiful people, and they're framed in such a way that we automatically like them. They are they have good comedy, they have good chemistry. We like them immediately. What's another technique that was used to make these characters endearing?
Right away we see Andre the Giant the Giant and the Spaniard kidnapping the princess, and so we think, oh, they're villains. But then we find out it's the Sicilian who's the real villain. Like, they aren't on board with
killing her, even
with killing her. Like, okay, kidnapping's one thing, and then you have the Sicilian insulting them. It puts them in a low place, which makes them you want to empathize with them.
It's the reflection
doing the
of
rhyming
Humperdinck and Vizzini, and, well, not so much extent Rugen, but the reflection against them that makes us like the others. That's
yes.
But since Vizzini was calling them stupid and telling, especially the Giant not to think, then you see Inigo coming up to Fezzik and saying, "Let's do the rhyming stuff."
Anybody
and
wanna
it
see
shows
that?
By that rhyming that Fezzik is smart.
Yes.
And so now we have this empathy for them. We saw them being put down, and then we show them, but that's not really true. And they're so cute.
That rhyming bit was so great. Beautifully done. Yes, good call. Absolutely. How to make likable characters. Again, immediately in the very beginning of the movie, that's the whole point of view. Show the guy, make the audience love the guy. Show the girl, make the audience show the girl. Use all these different techniques to do it. And same thing with Grandpa and with Fred Savage. Fred Savage is sick. Oh, you have thoughts?
No, I actually thought of a movie I want to get. That would be Robocop.
Yes.
Ooh.
Fantastic. By the way, I think RoboCop is known for being a perfect script in that the first half, the second half reflects the first half in mirror image. Like this. This half, the first half reflect the second half in perfect mirror image, and we could talk about that.
So the bullet leaps out of his head?
Kind of like this. Kind of like that. I mean, we'll talk about it. I mean, there's more about it. But anyways, that is a good suggestion. Yeah. How do you feel? When was the last time you saw RoboCop?
I don't think I've ever sat down and watched the entire thing. I've only watched it in parts. So
I was actually shocked when they did the scene where they shot his, like, when the hand gets shot off, and then the shot to the head. I'm going, They can show this in a non-R-rated movie? What? I was shocked.
Yeah, that director. Remember, we're talking about how time out Schwarzenegger, the Last Action Hero, how he's making fun of himself, like this is the movie with the least amount of bodies. Because in almost all of his movies, he had a record for the most amount of kills
on screen. Yeah,
apparently it's that same director that RoboCop and that also did Total Recall. The same director. He was competing against himself each time, like trying to up the body count. So RoboCop is pretty bloody and violent.
And the weird thing is, it says it's restricted on IMDb, and it wasn't at the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of violence in that movie. It's pretty graphic too. I think that's what he was going for. Like, let's make the most graphic violence at this time.
And 1987 was for RoboCop.
All right.
The question is it also needs to be something that all of us can actually watch easily. So I was checking on my phone for Silence of the Lambs earlier. I'm like, was that on HBO Max?
No. However, I have a copy of it in the library.
Okay.
And Blu-ray. Like, I just got my notification like, hey, we have a copy of...
I can stream pretty much any movie on Discord if you really want to watch it.
There we go.
Yeah, but I'd like to be able to watch it on my own. I work odd schedules, and I don't think you want to be up when I want to watch it.
I'm retired. I don't care.
That makes an interesting point. We should probably limit it to like, hey, if you're going to suggest a movie, make it available on either Prime or Netflix.
But the point here is, even if it's available to you guys on Netflix, it might not be for me.
That is part of what we need to do. We'll deal with that behind the scenes, and so we'll have to do at least some curation.
TBD.
Yeah.
But for right now,
because part of it also, we want to be able to say it ahead of time, so that other people can watch it ahead of time with us.
Yes, exactly.
But here's the deal, though. If we do have enough time, we can go into the local video store and buy it. If you have to the local video store and buy it.
Blockbuster? Are we going to Blockbuster?
You can.
Like a 3-hour drive.
You're retired. You can do whatever. But
That's
anyway,
true.
I don't have either the RoboCop or Silence of the Lambs on any of my streaming services. I'm going to have to wiggle around to find either of those.
Well, as I said, Wooster, I can always share it on you with you.
That's illegal.
On Discord?
Yes, it's considered illegal. You're streaming your thing. You're streaming your thing publicly, so that's sharing that, and that's movie producers losing money.
But Discord is owned by Prime, and we're not going to suggest us doing anything illegal on this.
Yes, that's why I have this used DVD store a couple blocks away that I can use.
Perfect.
It's
the Blockbuster, local Blockbuster.
It's called the Sea Robbers. What's that? Inlet.
Alcove Fjord.
Yeah. Yes. Sea Robbers Fjord. Yes.
Sea Robbers Fjord. Fantastic. Well, get yourself a copy. Watch the movie. Then we're gonna throw in some disco stuff, and we'll be better about it. And we'll see you guys in about a month or so. In the meantime, I think this is a good time to. We never even got to say goodbye, but I figured out a way to say goodbye correctly, didn't we? Besides bonus nachos.
Here's an even better one than bonus nachos. Bonus popcorn.
Get your popcorn. Get your popcorn for next time.
Yeah, I'm gonna get popcorn for the next time we do this.
How about that as an ending phrase?
Okay, if you're gonna get popcorn, we need to put on some push to talk.
Especially like my microphone, like if I touch my table, we get that. Sorry. So I can imagine us like reaching and just going like.
Yeah. Mother and I actually did consume
You need to put a
popcorn
trigger
while
warning on that one,
watching this
Carlos.
movie.
Bonus butter on the popcorn. Yeah, that's
Ooh,
more
bonus
funny.
butter. That's good.
Didn't Twitch ban
ASMR?
ASMR streams?
I don't
I thought they did.
know.
I don't know. Then we probably won't be able to do the popcorn.
What is ASMR?
That's the thing when you whisper sexily into the microphone or you
It's-
make sounds.
Yeah, you just sort of make sounds. It's like to help. All part of it is helps people fall asleep, but then people made it weird.
People always make it weird.
Ugh.
Rule 34.
Yeah.
Except for audio.
Oh my god, that's scary.
Yeah. Trigger warning indeed. Well, on that note, everybody, we're going to say story circle.
Oh, because we were talking about circles. Bonus
We'll
story
come
circle pancakes.
back to it.
We'll come
We'll get
back.
around to it eventually.
We'll get around
Yeah.
to seeing you next time.